Hi, and welcome to the first inaugural Gen Con Studio live play session here at Gen Con 51. I'm joined, and I am Rudy, and covering my mic, I am Rudy, and I am joined by Adam and Chris of Adam Apple Games, and Kyle Vogt of Maze Arcana and everything else.
Everything else. Hey guys.
And we're gonna play some Swordcrafters.
Yeah, Swordcrafters.
Cool.
Gentlemen, what gave you the inspiration for this game?
So there's an awesome story behind this. Literally, Gen Con 2017, Chris and I are just winded in the booth. We had a great convention. We were rifling through copies of Truck Offer Game at the time, and we had a game in development, and we said, hey, remember that sword game? It was kind of like resource collection, blah, blah, blah. We're like, what if you made an actual sword?
What if you held it and you built a 3D sword?
A 3D sword that you could hold as you play. And like the light bulb went off, and we literally designed the whole game on the car ride back from Gen Con. So,
cool.
Yeah.
So that was the genesis of this.
Yeah.
Now show us how to play it. Show us what your design in the car was like.
Sure, yeah. So the idea of the game is that you are trying to build the best 3D sword, and that is judged in 3 ways. So first, of course, longest sword. Whoever builds the tallest, longest sword is going to score some points. You're also trying to build a sword of quality. So we have different colored gems on the board here. You're trying to get the longest string of a single color. So in this scenario, I have 2 greens in a row. If I get a third in my next spot, that's going to be worth even more points. So it'd be 2, 4, 6 points. But if I break that string with a different color, I'm not getting that continuity, less points. The last thing I'm going to score on is sword magic. So you're trying to get different types of gems into your swords. Whoever has the most red and yellow is going to score 8 points, and so on and so forth. So quality, length, and magic.
So you guys were doing this in the car when you're driving home?
Concepting it, you know,
Super
like
safe.
coming up with it, yeah.
Swinging with swords and cars.
We were driving with swords and everything.
Are you using ketchup packets back then?
Yeah, right.
So you guys were telling us a little bit earlier that the kind of the unique way that you go through the gameplay and like what this little anvil denotes and stuff like that. Why don't you walk us through one of the rounds?
Sure, so Swordcrafters is played over 6 rounds. Each round, each player makes a cut into a grid of sword tiles, and each player takes a group of sword tiles. So it goes in turn order. The anvil denotes the first player, so we're gonna spin this, all right? And that, whoever's it's pointing towards, Ruty, is gonna be the first player. So you're gonna keep this, and you're gonna make the first cut into the grid of sword tiles. Now there are a few rules when it comes to cutting into the grid.
No
like
diagonal.
a sword, you have to make a straight cut, exactly. So it has to be either vertical or horizontal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Think of this as one group of sword tiles. You're always cutting one group into 2 groups, okay? So, for instance, you could do this, boom, perfectly legal cut. You could do this, perfectly legal cut. Or maybe something like that, perfectly legal cut. Now, after Ruty has cut, anyone else can cut any of the groups that are out there. So, should we start the round and just start cutting away, or do you have any questions?
So. Unless you got a question.
I just want to see how many rules are there? How big is the rule sheet?
Yeah,
Catch up on?
this is crazy. So
It's like insanely
this
complicated or simple?
This is a game that's got a ton of theme and componentry awesomeness to it, but look at the rule book here. It's 1, 2, 3 pages of rules, and it's
a lot of these are pictures.
A lot of these are pictures too. It's pretty tight, and so I was just amazed at how small and condensed we were able to make it. And so I think it's going to be really easy to learn and really reach a wide audience on this game too.
It's like 5 minutes to pick up the rules?
3 to 5, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Ages 6 and up for Swordcrafters as well.
Cool.
Now the one thing I will say, after everyone makes a cut, everyone makes a selection of the grouping, a group of tiles that they want. So after Ruty cuts, everyone's going to cut, and then Ruty's going to make the first selection. So keep that in mind, that you're kind of cutting Ruty down to size because he gets first pick, all right?
One of the important things is there is this tile in the middle which has that particular forge icon on it. If you select that, you become the first player in the next round.
That's right.
Obviously, you'd be getting one less tile because this doesn't go into your sword, but first player is a little powerful, so
it's completely useless on the last round.
correct.
You got it.
Strong cut.
All right, strong cut. So it's always important to look at the colors and gems you have. You're going to start the game with a hilt assembly, and each player actually has 2 random sword guards, and the sword guards also have gems on them. So we're starting with a little bit of a direction on where we're gonna cut. So I really like this guy right here. Now, just because I cut that doesn't mean I'm going to get that group, right? Someone else can cut into that, or someone else can take it.
Indeed.
Yeah, you can tell he wants it.
Which direction do you go after you determine first player? Clockwise, counterclockwise?
Always clockwise.
Always
yeah.
clockwise. Okay. Then I will cut. Now, if I cut across, is it only one group that's cut, or all the groups get
You
cut?
always cut into one group.
Yep, you select one group, make it 2.
Beautiful.
Oh, man. I'm going last. I'm going to
You got to.
make it okay to go last.
Aw.
You're crazy, man.
You're crazy, moving on the edge.
So then my selection here, and I do appreciate that you did that just to screw me. So in that case, I will eat one of these and take the main grouping just so I can maintain the forge.
Yeah.
Nice.
And one thing.
You could have had the forge.
I know. I saw it, but it wasn't in my heart.
The forge is with you.
One thing I want to point out too is with
Also
these
with
sword
you.
magic cards, there are 3 cards, and each player can score for each sword magic. So you might be going for like a combination of blue and yellow, have the most of those, but that's also going to help you score for red and yellow, right? Because you've got the yellow, and it's also going to help you score for blue and orange. So this game, blue and yellow are hot gems.
How many
And
different
Ruty just got a
color gems
hot
do you have?
pile. There are 6 colors and also blank tiles.
Okay.
13 of each, so it's even across the board.
And when we score those, just so I'm checking, like basically both of these, no matter whether they, like no matter where they are on
You're
it.
going to
Yep.
count them for this
Yeah.
card. Yep.
Yep.
You got it.
Anywhere
As
on
long
the
as you have
sword.
more than anybody else, you get the most
Got it.
points.
Correct.
Okay.
While adjacency is important only for quality.
Right.
So I am certainly going down the middle, solves the riddle.
And you just start sticking them on your sword however
Yep.
you want. As soon as you get them?
As soon as you get them, you stick them in, and you have to assemble everything that you took this turn.
Sure.
So you can't like hold a gem back to try to match something up later.
And no undoing, no take back Z's. Aw.
Yeah. A tile late is a tile plate.
I think I made not a great selection for myself.
Did you make the selection that you wanted to make?
Now what happens
Honestly,
with that?
not sure.
What happens with that leftover?
So great question. So the leftover actually goes back to the box. All right, this is out of the game.
Put
Goes
it
out
back
of the
in the
game.
box.
Yep.
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
And because Ruty took the first player, or got the forge, you're going to maintain the first player token.
Keeping it.
Now, if nobody takes that first, the forge,
Yeah.
then the first player token is actually going to rotate one player clockwise. So keep that in mind when you're making your cuts. It's going to be up to Chris as last player to cut Ruty down to size.
Sure. As
So-
we saw.
As we saw.
You did say the tallest sword gets the
6-point bonus.
bonus. So the only person who's going to be losing tiles. Well, I take that back. If you cut them down and you can only choose a small pile, you only get a couple of pieces. Like
Yep.
you only got one.
Yeah, not
sorry,
I,
3.
I got 3.
Yep.
So
3.
I'm with 3-3. Yeah.
So real quick on the sword check, right? Like one of the parts of this game is like your sword's gonna look really cool. If somebody asks you to rotate your sword, you don't have to,
Sheath it.
but it's got to be on the table, above the table. You cannot be hiding the sword down on the bottom. You got to be having the sword.
That's
on
not
the
on the table. That's in the table.
What is going on over here? Madness.
Man.
All right.
Right back to it. Round 2.
So the first expansion is called Sheath. In that case, you get to hide your sword. Is that what it is?
Indeed.
I like it.
Okay.
Let us push this direction.
All right.
I feel like something else that you maybe want to have included as well is an actual one to just gut right down.
Well, very straight. I like it.
Include a nice little letter opener.
Yeah, exactly.
Go.
That can be in the signature edition. You
Not a bad idea.
A metal letter opener.
We had a lot of requests actually to make this game out of metal componentry.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and
God, I
like,
can
and like
imagine
laser
how
cut
heavy
it?
that would be.
Oh,
and so
yeah.
componentry was a big discussion point when it came to this game, and I mean, I'd love to see what you guys think of the quality of the components.
What
We're
is
super stoked about how
this?
they came out, but
We're causing
I mean,
problems.
we're breaking
know.
it out for the first time, so I mean,
I have to do this.
it's kind of the first time the public or like the world is seeing the final components.
Everyone else enjoy your 4
This is the first
tokens.
time you guys are seeing these too, right? You only got them.
We got them like a few days ago.
Yeah.
Yep.
They were in the booth yesterday when we showed up.
Yep.
So
We
thank
unboxed
goodness.
the pallet load and
Who was the
Getting
first
ready
one
to
to break
sell.
it open and play with it?
This guy.
yeah, I got there for
Chris
first.
got to play with it first set.
Unpunching party.
Exactly. It's good. It's actually a very heavy box. There's a lot of weight to it because all of this cardboard. So it
really?
is a experience punching it out. So
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Nice.
I like what you did there with that cut, Chris.
took the 2. Interesting. Well, now I'm in a bad spot because I want to be first, but this is way better. So
then this goes away.
Yep. See ya.
And now is there a way that you're supposed to build out around it? And like I feel like that would be something.
Yeah, actually, if you're looking on this tile, there's a little grid that indicates that it always kind of goes up in this upper corner.
Yep.
So it would always go.
But I mean, like as far as like, so you don't have somebody who's manipulating.
Right.
Yeah, we went back and forth on that a lot, and technically it's just have a pile, take from the top, and get going.
Yep.
But it is a relatively light, friendly game, so.
So you think?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we're building
You're
swords,
building
so
swords.
I
Yeah,
don't know about that.
sword crafting is an honorable trade. So
The
it's
rules
very
are
important.
written left to right, top to bottom.
Okay.
So just take the pile, left to right, top to bottom,
Yep.
and it just keeps it randomized. Yep.
Okay.
And Adam
So
first.
actually, this is going to rotate
yours
because
now.
nobody took the forge last round. So I'm really liking what I have to choose from over here. I'm going to go this way.
You can't make a square. Yeah,
There you go. Thanks for keeping him honest.
Yeah.
Shiny lights make it hard to see.
Yes.
What do I need? I need that. Yes.
So when you get more players, do you build a bigger grid, or is there a maximum number of players to it?
There's different grid sizes for player counts. We're playing the 4 to 5 player count, but
Yep.
we have also a 2 to 3 player count. And the grid size actually it takes 4 tiles away, so it's a little smaller, a little tighter. The 2-player game here is actually it's pretty amazing, like back and forth, because you actually make 2 cuts and 2 selections each round. So there's a
wow.
lot of
That's
back and forth
fast
play.
built.
And with 2-player, it keeps it super strategic, you know.
Yeah, there's also a 1-player variant where there are cards that indicate how you have to make cuts in the grid,
Sure.
and like give those to the other players, and then take your selection.
Nice.
Yeah.
We also joked about the 0-player variant where you buy it and leave it on the shelf like the majority of board games.
Not going to happen on this
0
one.
players.
I mean, one of the coolest things about a game like this, right, is like you are going to
Wow,
be
4
just
left here.
I mean, even if you don't win, like you've created this awesome thing that you're gonna want to like showcase and get a selfie with. Like this is gonna be a sword selfie moment, I'm guessing.
Oh, there it is. So that's round 3. So we're almost there.
Who took the first player?
I did.
This guy.
There was
Swap
you guys
from the token.
took all the good stuff. There was not a slim pickings out there.
Yeah, at some point, you got to get that first player.
Can you help me straighten this
Always
out a
make
little
sure when
bit?
you discard your sword pieces, you don't put them in little cubby holes in your tables and forget them, because then you're not going to have enough pieces in the next game.
Very important. All right, first cut. What do I need to get? I need to get not this.
Oh, interesting.
I don't
strategy.
need that.
Cut it away
Yeah.
like that.
And when you're playing at home, make sure you don't have bright lights on the shiny cards, because you can't see the colors.
And we do have a disclaimer too. I mean, these are pretty substantial, sturdy swords. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, what can you do with your sword? But so don't swing it at someone at home. Like, this is a board game, right? Like, we're crafters, we're not fighters. Okay.
Exactly.
So keep it tame. So shiny.
So
Shiny. I think I just got to do this.
Great song.
Mm-hmm.
Jermaine.
And I'm going to do this.
Dang it.
Why would you do that?
Oh man.
Because someone was wanting red.
Killing me.
I said I didn't. I thought you'd believe me. That's just a lot of gems, so I'll throw
That's a
my
long sword.
Yeah,
quality
good
out the
call.
window.
That's blue heavy too.
Oh yeah. There goes the quality train, but that's
gosh.
okay.
I have to do this. Not super happy about it. The quality's gone.
Yeah.
Oh.
Out the door. Did someone take first then?
Out the door. Kyle did, right?
I took first.
All right, good for you.
Nice.
Get that power position. So this is a game that kind of falls into, I would call it like a I cut you choose type of mechanic, but it's really, I think, a different take or perspective on the I cut you choose. Usually the I cut you choose, the cutter gets last choice, right? Because it's I cut you choose, but this is actually
we all
I cut, you cut, you cut, you cut, I choose, you choose, you choose. So it puts a little bit of a cool spin mechanically on the game that I hadn't seen anywhere else, and so it's really fun.
I forgot what I wanted now.
All the cards.
Once again, I did not want that, so ignore.
You know that doesn't really work. Telling us what you don't want does not make us think that's not what you want.
Well, you were smart enough to cut before me. I'm hoping the people after me believe me.
Looks like we have one round left based on the tiles on the table. Just an FYI. This guy up right here.
Okay.
Thank you.
So many yellows.
It worked
That's
that
so
time.
good.
Did it?
Yeah.
Did you work it?
It fell right in. They fell right into the trap.
This is what they get when they're not the ones who got the
I know.
card.
All right, we got our discards here.
Yep.
I think this one's gonna finally break my quality.
Yeah. Oh, you had good quality going though. Jeez. But yeah, you take a lot of tiles and you have to put them in. So managing like how many you take, like sometimes you take 6 tiles, it actually can really hose you on quality.
First player.
You got it, man. Forge.
This is it. Final round.
Final round. Or final square.
Yeah. I like it.
Heyo.
So I'm first cut again?
I'm
I thought you
first
took
cut,
I
actually,
said, I
yeah.
thought someone else took that.
Sir.
Nice.
What does that cut need to be is the question.
Cut them all.
Oh, I know, right? Gotta go here.
And then it goes to me.
Yep.
Maybe that.
So I have a suggestion for your next game.
Okay, let's hear it.
Pizza
We'll take it.
cutters.
Hey-o.
So we can have a pizza cutter game.
New York Slice is a pretty popular pizza cutting game.
Is it?
Yeah.
We-
Oh, I did not
they
know
actually
about
use
that
the
one.
I cut you choose mechanic, so we got compared to them
Cool.
a decent amount of times.
Yeah.
And is that how you guys decide what pizza you're going to get when you're playing Sword Cutter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Every
we
time.
actually, I mean, you get pretty greasy if you try to cut your pizza with this, but I wouldn't
never know.
mash it up.
You never know.
They actually make really good plates.
Oh,
if you-
okay.
This would be great for
Solid.
serving sushi.
Yeah, right. Yeah, just right across there.
Yep.
Sushi crafters?
There you go.
Sushi crafters.
Oh my gosh, you
It's
guys
actually a
cut
really
And you
good
put it
idea.
up-
Because
so
then you have to
a
roll
bar.
it.
Well, you
Oh,
could have it in
man.
you could have just a bar, and so
Yep.
you have to take them and put them in order on the
my
bar.
God.
You can Ginsu it.
TM. That's our trademark now. Mail it to yourself. It's okay.
Mail it yourself. That always works.
I've got too many other things to do.
Too many other mails that I mail to myself.
Indeed.
All right, we got a discard, which doesn't matter, but I'll keep that.
All
over
right.
there.
Since it was last round, there's no discards.
That's right.
So that was it.
So that's it. So we're going to be scoring right now,
Score!
and we have a little scoreboard and some score tokens to hand out. But the first and most important thing to do is who has the longest
sword.
He does.
This guy. Oh, but it was close.
Yeah, very close. So
Very
in this
cool.
scenario, it ends up being most tiles. So I did squeak out the most
That was close.
longest sword. Yeah.
Awesome. So that's going
Ooh,
to
look
be
at quality.
6 points
Oh, yeah.
for the longest
6
sword.
points.
All right. So real quick, everyone's going to get a color, player color, just to remind who you are. Blue. You got
Yaks.
a green and a red, if that's okay. So 6 point is going to go to blue.
Yep.
All right.
And next we go into quality. So this is counting every side of your sword, finding the longest string that you can make. So in this scenario, I have, including your hilt, I have 1, 2, 3. So that's 2, 4, 6 points. I rotate it to my next side where I have 3 more in a row. So I go 6 more points.
Yep.
Rotating to this side, 6 more points.
Well played.
And then on this side, it's interesting because I have 2 and 2, so I just pick. It's just the best. I mean, either
Just 4
color,
points,
so
yep.
4 more points. So
Okay.
that
22.
was math.
I thought
Thank
it was
you.
only on the hilts.
The hilts and up.
And up,
Right,
the whole
but I
All
didn't
4
know it
sides.
was the inside.
everything, yeah.
But you still scored on that side as well.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, you're always going to score, right?
Yep.
So that's a 22 for player blue, right?
22 for blue.
All right,
All
so
right.
boom, boom.
And that's in
over
addition
2.
to his 6.
In
Yes,
addition.
correct. All right.
So.
Rudy, do you want to score?
Sure, so I have one side of my sword that has 0 points.
Okay, excellent.
Unless you only get the 1, but I'm assuming you don't.
Mixes don't work.
And then
Unfortunately.
the blue side is going to get, what is that, 6?
6?
Yep.
This side are going to get 2 more, so that's 4.
10.
And that side's going to get
Ooh.
a 10 slot, right?
Nice. Well played. So if you would have understood that rule, you would have done pretty dang well.
Probably a little
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
But it is tough.
Probably a
Like,
little better.
if you try to focus on quality, like I did on every single side, sometimes you stub your own foot or stab yourself.
Fall on your own
All
sword.
on your own sword. There it is.
Yeah.
I'll count up
Not
quick.
ideal.
2, 4. Oh, crap. 6, 8. 10, 12, 14. 16, 18. So I got 18 coming for red. What do you got over there, Kyle?
I got 26 in quality.
Oh, well played,
Ooh,
sir.
yeah, you had that side that was.
Phew.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's
I had a
big
couple of strings.
Yeah.
All right.
So then we move into sword magic. So the way this works is, and these are the basic cards. They're actually front and back, so there's a lot of variety to it and
Cool. Okay.
a lot of variance to these cards. But we just subbed in the basics. So in this case, it's whoever has the most yellow and red on your entire sword. So just count yellow and red individually.
Okay.
So 1, 2, including your hilt. 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. So I have 5.
8.
8,
10.
10.
Oh,
Ooh,
played,
okay,
sir.
so
1, 2,
yeah,
3, 4, 5,
yeah.
10.
Okay,
All right,
so
so
8 for Rudy.
8 for me.
Color?
I'm green.
Green. All right, so you're going to go pop up to 28. Oh,
Adam,
sir.
you are getting 4.
Yep.
And what
I'm
did you have?
super happy about that.
I only had 3
Okay, so I
of
had
them.
5.
you,
So I squeaked
you
out
get
the
the
2. So now we do the same for blue and yellow. 1, 2, 3, 6.
I think I have 14.
Whoa.
Okay.
Well played.
Rudy had the stacked sword from the beginning, if you remember. He had the blue and the yellow
Yeah,
hilts.
But
very good
overkill.
Only a
start.
+1 bonus. Right? You can subtract my +1s and I'm still coming up there on 12.
Green
So
is
Rudy's
gonna
taking the
get
8. I got the 4, 2, and then
4.
same with blue and orange.
Blue and orange.
Yep. 1, 2,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
6.
8, 9, 10, 11,
Yikes.
12, 13, 14.
5.
Only 4 on that one, guys.
6.
14.
Oh, Chris is just
Wow, I
squeaking
snuck
them
it out.
Yeah, look at you. 14? So
Yeah.
you're going to get 8 points.
That's the
Nice.
green? No, sorry, yellow.
Orange, right?
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Bloop.
Blue squeaked out there, so you're going to get 4 and 2 for red. All right, so that is going to be the end game score. So the winner, Chris, 38 points. Second place is going to go to Rudy with 36.
Nice.
Third place is going to go to Kyle with 34, and Adam comes in last with 26.
Aww.
It's a strong effort. Strong effort.
Like I said, I stabbed myself.
Yeah.
Stab yourself.
So it's important to know that this, what we just played, is the base game.
Yeah.
And you see that is the white box. But at Gen Con here, we actually have a expanded edition, which comes with a couple modular expansions. So those are exciting that they add a lot of variance to the game.
This is super fun, and I feel like it's a situation where we can still have a conversation while we're doing it. Something that's like, we could be hanging out talking over coffee or something
Totally.
in a shop. And it's like, those are good games to have. I know in LA we have a bunch of, maybe not a bunch, but we have some different bars and some different coffee shops that are centered around gaming.
Yep.
And it's really just the opportunity to get to meet up and hang out with people and chat. And I think this is a great game for that specifically.
And you were saying you've got expansions, though.
Yep.
Yes. Let's get back to
Yeah, so
those.
we can jump into some of those. So the first one, of course, is adding sword tips.
Ooh.
So these are long-term goals, personal goals. So at the beginning of the game, people get 2 of these.
Long term.
Exactly.
When I play
Your
a game, I
5-year
plan out the
plan.
long term.
You got to get your 5-year plan on lock. So these are very simple. So on any single side of your sword, you want to accomplish the goal of having 3 red and 1 blue. So actually, in this scenario, had I had that, I would have scored for that tip. And you can actually slot these into your sword at the end of the game to make them look extra cool.
Cool, cool.
So those are your long-term personal goals.
Yep.
Then we have sword relics.
Forge goals.
Forge goals, there you go, which are modifiers to the game board. So as we had that grid out there, these will do different things like wild cards. So if you make a cut and end up with this wild card, you can choose a card from the pile. There are things like...
and how do they go in the grid? They're on
yeah.
the corners, right? So they actually extend the grid, and 4 of them come out each turn at random, and they're on the corners.
And they also they force you to cut the board very differently, obviously. Because
Yep.
right now, in the base game, you're just focused on getting the colors you want. But now, you're like, ooh, if I could get that wild in the mix, that might help me out.
And what is?
And
what
let's
are the
talk
other
through some of
ones?
these. So this guy says the Sword of Might. So if you grab this relic, you're going to get +1 point for every yellow in your sword, but -1 point for every purple in your sword.
Wow.
Yeah, that would have been great.
Right?
I would have crushed it.
Would have crushed it.
I got 1 purple.
This guy says the person with the most Sword of Powers gets 6 points, and the person with the least gets -6.
And those you just keep to the side because obviously they don't slot into your
Keep
sword.
them aside,
Correct.
they don't slot in. There's 8 types, and so you're playing with 4 each game, and so you can actually there's a ton of replay and variability to the game to just be choosing a different assortment of these relics.
Nice.
And again, these are modules too, so they can kind of slot in or stack on each other too.
Yeah.
Now, when you get an expansion, how many of these do you get?
All 3?
No, I mean like how many tokens? Like, is
Oh.
it 5 tokens for $30, or
Gotcha.
you get a really good
So
deal?
the base game right now is $35. The expanded edition has 3 modules. It has 48 cardboard tokens like this. It has
The tips.
12 tips. It has 24 cards that we're going to talk about, sword mastery cards as well.
Oh.
So that for an extra $15. So it's a pretty solid deal, and the game weighs like 4+ pounds. So
Yeah, that's not
It's
bad.
good for shipping.
yeah, right. It's good.
Sorry, guys in Australia, it's expensive to ship it to you.
Yeah, it's
Exactly.
expensive to anything in Australia. Well, Adam, Chris, thank you guys for having me come to do this. I have to run to another thing, but I appreciate this game is pretty sweet.
It's really
we'll
cool.
have to swing by and chat with you guys about it.
Love it.
Because this seems like something that I would like to have under my cap.
And now
Love
I
it.
want to stick it into an adventure for an RPG.
Or
You play this first, you build the sword, then you go on the adventure.
Or you go on an adventure, you get the pieces to get to the
Yes,
sword.
Oh,
there you
yeah,
go.
yeah.
Send
Oh,
us
we
those
can-
rules.
It's always the quest.
Oh yeah, no, dude, Kyle and I will come up with stuff like that
We
left
will.
and right.
Awesome.
So I will leave you in Kyle's capable hands.
Bye,
Thank
Rudy.
you. Thanks for
Rudy.
playing, man.
Absolutely.
And those of you who wonder why we're getting rid of Rudy, he's got to go do a panel on...
I gotta go right next door for us for the Diana Jones
The Diana Jones Award,
award, which was given to Actual Play.
which all the streaming gamers got to win because
Yep.
they're all part of Actual Play.
That's right.
Awesome.
We're actually playing right now.
We're playing
Oh my God.
on stream.
We won?
Love it.
You won posthumously because it was already given out.
I'll take it.
So you were going to tell us about the
Sword
Masteries.
Mastery cards. So Sword Mastery cards actually adds another phase to the game, which
Yeah.
is super interesting. So you'll notice that the last player's job in this game is to cut down the first player. But this actually gives the last player another extra advantage. So the last player gets first pick, and you snake back counterclockwise.
Okay.
After all the groups have been chosen. So you chose all your tiles, you cut, you chose tiles, and now it snakes back. So last player goes first. Now, if you have an orange adjacent to a blue in your sword, you may take this card, and that's just
Anywhere.
straight points. So you're now you're not only looking to match up orange and orange and orange and orange, but you're also looking to make some strategic placements to
Now, by
fill in the
adjacent, do you
gaps.
mean in a line,
Yep.
or is it face to
It
face
would-
adjacent?
like in this scenario, yeah, it'd be like I have a green and a red right next to each other.
So it's only on a facing, not
That's right.
on adjacent faces.
Right.
Yep. And the interesting thing about that is you first think, oh, that's counterproductive to getting your quality going. But
Yeah.
it's also, there's also those times where like, oh,
It's
this is
gonna
going to
be
break my
broken.
quality. I
It's gonna
might
be
as well
broken.
take this.
And you get a reward if you can find a good one.
Exactly.
Cool.
Yep, so that's pretty neat and a great little perk for the last player. And again, it does conflict with quality, so you kind of have to make a little bit of strategic decisions. It's cool.
What's the one that looks like ties?
The last thing I want to talk about, so we got a bow tie. No, we got a
Rudy likes ties. This is why I'm asking. He's
Oh,
not here
man.
to see it.
We missed them.
Swordcrafters plays 1 to 5, so this is our solo mode. So if you set up a grid of tiles and you want to play by yourself, this is actually a really cool puzzle aspect to this game that we...
So your solitaire mode.
It's your solitaire
Yep.
mode, absolutely. So the way this works is you're going to flip up a card for each opponent you want to play against.
Oh, okay.
And the more cards you flip up to 4, makes it harder because there's more opponents, right?
Right. They take pieces away from you. They do more cuts. all
That's
that fun
right.
stuff.
Now you use the rest of the cards to make your cuts. Okay, so each round you use one card, and I have to cut vertical, horizontal, horizontal,
And horizontal.
and horizontal. So now,
Show that card to the camera.
so
There
right
we
here,
go.
yeah.
Yeah, so in
Like
this
this.
scenario, based off that, we have to go a vertical cut.
Yep.
So in this, I would do this, of course. That's the best.
But you still get to
place.
choose which cuts you do.
Yeah. But in this
Exactly.
scenario, yeah. So this piece is gone. So you have to make the cut.
So just to quick flesh this out, right? Like a vertical cut can be here, 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 or
Right.
here. So you have 3 choices on the solo mode based on the first cut. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So go ahead and do that.
Yeah. So I'd make this cut, right?
Good.
And then a
your
horizontal
second
cut. I would do something like
And
I don't
these
need
go
these.
away. That's gone from the game.
Oh, okay.
I don't need.
Because I was gonna say you could just like do all your cuts
Right.
on that one block, and then you get all a huge
exactly.
stack.
So I would say, oh, I'm looking for, I don't know, whatever, reds. I'm gonna cut these, and then another horizontal, and another horizontal, and I end up with these 3.
Yep.
Okay.
And that's essentially how the solo mode works. Now, your opponents have the length defined. So it says like the length is 16 tiles. This guy says the length is 24 tiles. So you already know from the start of the game what your competitors are going to be.
Okay.
And if you want to win length, you got to get more than 24 tiles,
Gotcha.
for example.
So it's the preset. You got to make your.
They have a preset quality points, and then they also have gems representing how many gems are actually in their sword. So you actually
the
still
magic.
can compare magic cards.
They showed up with your swords, and you woke up for school without a sword.
Man,
And
I always hate it when you oversleep at the forge.
exactly.
Solo mode takes 10 minutes. You can add the modules in too, and the modules, you just add 10 points per module per opponent, and that's what you're scoring against.
Sounds really cool.
Yep.
And you guys can be found here.
So yeah, so we're Adam's
Yep.
Apple Games. We're on Facebook at Adam's Apple Games. We're on Twitter at Adam's Apple Games. We are also taking pre-orders, and we're selling at the con an exclusive release of Swordcrafters Expanded Edition.
Nice. And where are you at the con? If people want to find your exhibitor booth.
Great call. Booth 2663.
2663, huh?
You know it.
I might have to go
2600 row in the
stop by
back.
there.
All right.
But you do other games too. You
Yes.
said you got some other ones. What other kind of stuff do you have?
Yeah, so I'll just talk real quick about our first 2 games.
Sure.
This is our 3rd game. So our first game is called Brew in USA. That is a game where you actually have bottle caps as your money and as your victory points. You are brewing craft beers. These are real craft breweries licensed in the game. So you might have like your Sun King Brewery from Indianapolis. You know, it's in the game, and that's awesome. Right?
That's kind of cool.
You're brewing that beer. You're placing it on a map of the U.S., and these maps are tiles. And then
Coasters.
you are competing for control, area control. So they're set up as tiles or coasters, and you are looking to control the majority of coasters in one region to establish that area control. And you can also, if somebody takes the coaster you want, you can challenge them to a brew fest and compete for control of that location.
Wow.
So that's the first one.
Do you have an adult version of it that has the drinking rules with
So,
it too?
so
Yes.
we don't have any
Yeah.
drinking rules in the game because we actually I think took a really respectful approach on the beer theme
Sure.
because it's very much about breweries, craft beer, kind of a homage to that industry.
Sure.
However, we do have a really fun drinking rule where
Yeah.
And the point of having those beers is to drink them.
it is.
Yeah.
So if you crack a beer while you are playing the game, you can add that bottle cap to your money. So the more you drink, the richer you get.
And the worse your decisions become.
Absolutely.
So-
So that's Bruin USA. We actually have a new game in that world coming out. We're demoing it at the con right now. It's called Taproom Takeover. So Bruin USA Taproom Takeover. It's a dice game, a lot faster,
Quicker, faster pace. It removes the auction aspect of it,
Yeah.
Okay.
which is obviously a different type of game.
and it's all about engine building. But what's super cool is that we're going to be introducing 50 new breweries into Taproom Takeover that also can be played and be interchanged with the original Bruin USA. So it's maintaining that constant card structure between the two games.
Cross-play.
Yeah, and kind of collectible too, because these things like when you license a brewery to be in your game, you cannot do that for forever. So you have a contract in place, and it's really exclusive content because all
Yep.
the Bruin USA that were sold, like you're not going to get another printing of that with the licensed brewery because it's just how the licensing works. So.
Unless they really, really, really like your game, they
Yeah.
renew that
Yeah.
license.
It's a ton of work to do that. So we
It
put
is.
all the upfront work in, and we think that craft beer lovers, and people that like the industry, want to see the new stuff coming out, and so we
variety.
want to involve a lot of different breweries into the game. It also helps from a business standpoint too, because we get to expand it to different areas of the world. So we like the big breweries, the small
Sure.
breweries, and so yeah.
Speaking of expanding to the world, what other languages are your games coming?
So we have some translations on Board Game Geek available.
Okay.
They're kind of sparse, but still working on getting more translated. We work with Publisher Services Inc., and so we're able to, they're selling to distributors. So we're distributed in the U.S., If you are a retailer looking to order copies, you're going to be able to go to your normal distributor and get it, but also through internationally through, I think, their connections, I think, with Asmodee distribution as well. So
cool.
It's kind of it's really spreading all over the place, and we expect Swordcrafters to be available to retailers sometime in September.
Okay. I thought I heard some rumors about you guys going to be doing some live stream versions of these eventually. Is that what you're going to?
Yeah, we want to get to the point. Actually, we're hoping to set something up in the booth really quick and just be able to live stream us from the booth, showing demos,
pull out a phone and just start
getting it all going.
Streaming it.
Make it rough. Now. Let's show it. Show people like what Gen Con is like when thousands of people rush at you. Right?
And eventually you get to the B Sports, where it's the board game sports, where you're playing team against team.
B Sports.
Esports is getting big, so you gotta get ready for the B Sports.
I love it. Battle prepared.
Exactly, and this is perfect to beat those other guys down. Any other games that you have that you want to talk about?
I want to talk about one more for sure. It's called Truck Off, the Food Truck Frenzy. So it's got a saucy name on a food truck game.
Nice.
This game is a 2 to 6 player, a little bit of a dice and probability simulation, and a lot of fun packed into that. So you are sending your food trucks out to different locations in town. Each location in town has a different dice that is sitting on it. So one may have a D20, a D12, a D10, a D6, a D8. And once your food truck goes there, then you roll the die to see how many people showed up. And so you're splitting that die, the customers at that location, between all the food trucks that showed up. So once that happens, then you're playing action cards to kind of mess with people or improve your result or worsen other people's results.
Shut down other people's trucks, move their trucks to a different location, move your own truck because your location got shut down.
And so it goes to the Crazy 8 Uno sort of thing where you start messing with other people with the cards.
A little bit, but
gotcha.
It's programming because you have to submit what cards you're going to use this round, and so you're managing these resources throughout the entire game. Everyone has the same set of 10 actions, and so you really need to use them wisely.
Sure.
You can target the leader, but you can also kind of play it low and do whatever you want. The actions, if you don't use them, are worth money too. So there's some good strategy packed in there, and it's a lightweight strategy family board game.
Sounds pretty good. And it takes about how long to play that one?
30 minutes.
30 minutes for that one. And this one you said usually takes about 30 minutes.
30 minutes. Yep.
And then the other one, the Bruin
USA original is about hour 15,
Yep.
and the taproom takeover we're trying to shoot for about 45 minutes. So
45 minutes. So all of yours are under 2 hours.
Yeah, I mean we want approachable. So this company was kind of built.
Anti-monopoly.
Anti-monopoly. I mean, really approachable games.
Anti-risk.
Yes.
I mean, I had a ton of friends that were not into board gaming, but they were into video gaming, and a lot of them like craft beer. So I was like, well, what if I make a game about craft beer? And they all got into board gaming now. So
nice.
That's kind
gateway
of
games.
Kind of one of the gateway inspirations for the company, and then it did really well. So I think we got really great feedback from fans, and just that industry is super enthusiastic. You get super fans in there, so just kind of propelled us to keep going. So
nice. So with all that being said, do you guys have any secret games you're working on? Some stuff you got, some prototypes you want to let everybody kind of
we do. I want to tease them out.
Yeah, there's a couple like the taproom takeover is in the works, and then we have another one which we're working on the name, but.
Yeah, so I picked up, I signed a game called, the designer was calling it Eigenstate at the time. We're actually demoing it at the con. And this is one of the most really interesting abstracts that I've seen in a long time because the learning curve is so approachable, yet it still unpacks a ton of strategy and depth. And so what I mean by that is you move a piece and you place 2 pegs. Your pegs are essentially future positions that your piece can move to. So you're building your own chess pieces as you go. So every chess piece is the same, but you are building your own and equipping your own pieces. You can super pack one in and make it really powerful, or you can kind of spread the wealth and make sure that you're kind of setting up these takes and retakes.
Yeah, I like to pitch it as approachable as chess checkers that turns into chess. Because you look at it and you're like, oh, the pieces move like this, and then you build it as you go. So it's not like when you look at chess, like, okay, this can move this way right now, and this can move this way, but it's like, no, right now they all do the same, and I make them the way I want.
So you exponentially change the number of options your pieces have as you add powers to it.
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely. And it's quick too. It's like 20 to 30 minutes, and it just it's really good 2-player thinking game.
Yeah, it's a game where you can kind of just sit down, sit with another person, look at it, and even in talking through your moves, you can just be like, oh, these are all the things we could do.
Yeah.
Never talk through your moves in
this
a
is
game.
optimal. And yeah, it's great.
No,
so
unless you're lying about what moves you're going to take.
Exactly. You got to fake them out. You're like, oh, these are the 7 things I could do, and then you do the 8th.
So we are actually going to be retheming that and putting a little bit of theme and inspiration on top of the abstract. So we're not going to leak what that is yet, but keep an eye out for it. Right now on BGG, it's called Eigenstate. which is a quantum physics state of electrons being represented in multiple different
So that's your working title, or is that going to be the final?
It's the working title. The final title is unreleased, and it's going to have some more theme and inspiration around the artwork. And so physics is great, and actually kind of supports the abstract, but we think that we can add more approachability with adding a theme and some story behind it a little bit. So
that sounds pretty cool.
And then there's one other one that I wanted to just talk about a little bit.
Sure.
This is a game. This is not even on BGG yet, but we're demoing it at the con.
So this is an exclusive Gen Con.
Exclusive at Gen Con. Pitch and prototype that signed as well. And this game is a tile laying game. So think your Uwe Rosenberg, think your Tetris, right? It's got a lot of tile laying, city building in space. Okay, it's called Planet Unknown.
Oh, nice.
All right, so the story is all of our resources are out, and we need to find a new planet that will support our life. So we've gone and scouted all these new planets. We find a few Goldilocks planets that we think are going to work. Your job is to colonize that thing, right? So you're colonizing a planet. Each player is a different planet, and the coolest part about this game is that the way that you get these city tiles, or the base tiles, is a lazy Susan that rotates. Each player makes a decision, or the starting player makes a decision to rotate it. They take one tile that they want, but then everyone else simultaneously drafts the tile they want from their location. So it plays so fast, and it gets a ton of strategy and depth into a game. And there's a little bit of a Euro backend with some cube pushing as well. In about 45 minutes to an hour. So it's got a ton packed in. I would call it like Seven Wonders meets Tetris kind of thing.
Yep.
Okay. That sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Well, this sounds like you got some really cool things. Thanks for coming in and showing us this one, Swordcrafters.
Absolutely.
Where you get to chop, don't hit each other.
Yeah.
One of the rules, don't hit each other. And the other games sound amazing. Everybody go check them out. And it was booth
2663.
2663 at the exhibitor floor. And those of you who can't make it, you can always go here. There's this QR code if you can scan it. If not, there's a bit.ly link that you can get to right here at the top. Other than that, I appreciate you guys coming in for the inaugural Gen Con Studios exhibitor stream.
Thanks so much for having us.
We appreciate it. So everybody, thanks for tuning in and watching the stream. We've got another one coming up right for you in about 30 minutes. And I can't remember who's on that one. Who's on that one? Who's the next exhibitor we got coming in?
We've got Check Games.
Check Games coming in.
Nice.
So pop back in here and see what this is going to be going with. Then I think Ryan is going to be hosting along with, I think it's Alquin, and they'll be able to walk you through that wonderful game. We appreciate you guys again.
Thank you.
Everybody, thanks for coming and watching us on Gen Con, and we hope you guys have a good weekend. Play some games.
All right.
Thanks.